Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, Rangers. It's me, Jackie Kashian. Welcome to the Dork Forest. It's 2024. Let's do this. Here's the credits, of course. Mike Ruekberg sang that song at the beginning, and he wrote that song, and he sang it with Sarah Cohen, his wife, and he will sing the Mexican hat dance at the end of the program. Also, Patrick Brady, still putting this together. Video, audio, all of it. He's amazing. So, and Vilmos doing JackieKashianStore.com. Squarespace is doing the regular Jackie Kashian page, and I'm thinking of moving the Dork Forest and dorkforest.com away from WordPress because it's driving me nuts. But those are the credits. But if you go to JackieKashian.com, you can get Dork Forest merch. You can get my stand-up merch. You can get my stand-up CDs and DVDs, which you'd have to have devices for those. You can also see videos and find out any number of things. I have another podcast called The Jackie and Laurie Show, but the Dork Forest is the flagship. 18th year. We're doing it, you guys. You can go to my Bandcamp or my YouTube for extra content. Please donate, is what I'm saying. It's 2024, and I think we've been in this long enough. Why don't you guys, everybody send me $100? That's what I'd like you to do. You can PayPal me. There's links all over the pages. You can Venmo me at Jackie Kashian. You can find me at a stand-up show and hand me a sweaty wad of 20s. Do something. But I love doing the show. I would love to make some money, is what I'd like to do. In other news, I'm sure there's more things that I should talk about, but I can't think of them. But let's listen to who's going to dork out about something, because that's my favorite part. Thanks for listening, you guys. You're all great. Let's get into the show. Rangers, who's with me? A friend of mine who doesn't know how to use Riverside, who I love dearly. Cindy Caponera, comedy writer, hilarious, gave me unsolicited stand-up advice the other night, which I then ran through my brain box about 30 times, and now I'm going to use it. So good for you, Cindy Caponera. Welcome to the program. Hello.
Thank you for having me, Jackie Kashian.
Sure. You're doing just so people know, if they want to throw $18 to 18 grand at you, you're financing your own movie, because you've always done other people's stuff and always written for other people. And now you're going to do your own thing because you deserve it.
Thank you. Yes, I'm embarking on a huge project I've been working on for about 7 years. A movie I've written and I'm going to direct it. And, so it's 150 million pieces, and some of them have clicked in. And so I'm just going to start talking about it. I think I created an Instagram for it, but I haven't done anything.
We'll find out, you guys, the mystery. Go to the notes. Find out if there's an Instagram for it. Will there be a GoFundMe, or will there be a Kickstarter, or will there be... just got to find Cindy Caponera out in the wild and hand her a 20? What's going to happen?
Please carry around a lot of pocket money, walking around money. And if you see me, just like put it in my hand like a grandma. Just real tight.
Shake it real tight.
Put it real tight in my hand. Like my aunt. Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of things that grandmas love, let's talk about the thing that you... Let's talk about your dorkdom. It's a show that hasn't been on for 30 years, and yet you can watch anything now. So it's a TV show. I remember this. Sipowitz. Yeah. I was once compared in Iowa. It's on my first album. A guy came up to me and said, I got to tell you this thing. Don't hit me, but I got to tell you this thing. And I said, well, first of all, there's no hitting. And what is the thing? And he goes, well, what's this? Well, I've raised my hand, and for some reason, we're doing this on Zoom, you guys.
Sorry, guys.
But it could take, it turns out Zoom is using water and will it make hearts? Nope. Anyway, the joke is just a guy, and this did happen. The guy came up and said, you can hit me if you want, but you remind me of a female Sipowitz from the TV show Law and Order.
No,
And I said
NYPD Blue.
NYPD Blue, which is the Law and Order before Law and Order. It was called NYPD Blue. And that's the show you like. And just for closure, I told that guy that he doesn't have to say everything out loud.
That's a good rule in general.
That's
Have your
it.
thoughts, but keep a lot of them inside.
That's an inside your head voice, brother.
That is. Or write them down and put them in your drawer.
Right. I had a nightmare last night, and it was a nightmare. Again, it was you. I think it was you
We
who
have
told me
different
that they were
definitions of nightmare, but go ahead.
right, because you said to me that it wasn't a nightmare because I had power,
Yes.
but it was a bad dream. And at the end of it was I was heckling stormtroopers, the ice guys.
It's a good dream.
Well, except for that, six of them
Did
showed
anything
up and
happen or
tackled me.
what?
It was they were about to they were harassing some kids on the way to school, and I said, "This is not okay." in the language of the 1990s, and they were like, "It's nothing to do with you," and I said, "Well, in best case scenario, you are like slave catchers and mercenaries and repo men working for a per diem. But worst case scenario, you're rapists and murderers. So no, get lost." And I told the kids to keep going. And the kids scattered, and then these three men surrounded me, and I said, "So you've just been spending the entire day in a Chevy Tahoe blowing each other. Wipe your mouth, you animal." And I was just full of rage in this thing.
Just so you know, I'm going to charge you $150 for this session, but continue talking, please.
And then they were like, they said something about me. I mean, it just went on and on.
They called you a female Sipowitz?
No, they did not call me a female Sipowitz. How would NYPD Blue have dealt with this? Anyway, so it was a nightmare, and at the end of it, they beat me up. But they didn't arrest me. Yeah, they didn't arrest me. They just punched me and left me on the ground. That was the nightmare. That was.
Well, here's what I hear. I hear you being able to say your thoughts because your dreams are a brain dump.
Okay.
So you're able to say what you authentically wish you could say somewhere to someone who could actually be affected by hearing it.
Right.
But then at the end, yes, you get beat up. So it's not a complete victory.
Right. It feels like when it wakes you up out of I'm rarely awakened from a joyful dream where somebody is force feeding me custard and
You don't like screaming, but no sound comes out while you're running.
Right. So it's yes, I'm not enjoying the dreams, so they must be nightmares.
I like my dreams where my mom, who had a stroke, can flip a fence.
Oh wow.
I've had that dream before.
Flipping a fence, like in anger?
No, she just was flipping a fence. I don't know why, but I remember thinking, "Oh wow, maybe you didn't have a stroke."
What's a you mean like literally just
No, you flip a fence, you jump over it. You put your one foot up and you
Cindy Caponera's from the Chicago area. And for some reason this might be something people say in Chicago.
Flip a fence.
Flip a fence. We never said that. But Maria Bamford calls a U-turn whipping a shitty.
Oh.
Which I've never heard before.
She's from another country?
She's from Duluth, where Dulutherans live. And
no, flipping a fence means I hop up, I put my one foot on, and then I flip over. It's not like climbing a fence where you take your leg and move it over and then your other leg. You flip the fence. This means flip.
Well, I think we all have some image in our minds.
Okay.
Cindy Caponera is very funny, as you can tell. And she may or may not have an Instagram, but she definitely loves NYPD Blue, the TV show from the 90s?
It started in, I believe, 92.
And who did it?
Let me just say, wait a second.
Yeah. Please do.
CC Cap is my Instagram moniker, I think. Anyhow,
I'll put
I
it in the
believe
notes.
it
Everybody
started
will
in
have it.
92, but I'll look it up right now. But where do you want me to start with my dorkdom about the show?
Well, first of all, I never watched it. I remember
Oh,
there being a tall blonde woman. And was that the show where everybody said, be safe out there? Was that one?
no, you're
No.
talking about Betty Thomas, and you're talking about Hill Street Blues,
Hill
which
Street
was
Blues.
Bochco's first show. This show
Okay.
was created by David Milch and Stephen Bochco.
Aha.
It was the first sort of handheld, realistic, kind of dirty coverage show.
Okay. Oh, sort
Drama.
of. Okay. And so they were on the streets of, I take it, New York.
Well, here's the cool thing. It started in 93. The exterior shot that they always used before they went into the police station was around the block from where I lived when I
Oh, is
lived in
that
New
what?
York. So every
Okay.
time, yeah, so it was on Fifth Street between either First and Second or A and First. So that
Okay.
was the police station. So every time I see it, I see my old neighborhood that I lived in when I first moved to New York.
Oh, right, right. And it started in 93, this one. That
Started
started.
in 93, but I didn't. Here's the thing that you and your viewers and listeners should know about me.
Yes.
If something's too popular, I won't watch it. I will absolutely not
Cindy
engage.
Caponera says, I'll show you. I'm not watching it now. I'm going to watch it 20 years later,
I used
30
to
years
do that when
later.
I was younger, but somehow, maybe just being a television writer for so long, I can't do it. So
Did
I
you
started,
just start watching it, essentially?
no, I've been
Or,
watching it for a long time. What
okay.
I've come to become is sort of like an expert on it.
Okay.
Character arches, different performances, people I look at in different episodes, great guest stars, scenes I really loved. I loved the way they were played. The language, Milch wrote just a very insular, not Mammoth-esque, because no, but its own sort of world of language. Like
Okay.
Sipowitz, an amazing character throughout the 12 years.
Okay.
Couldn't really communicate well. And so his language had like a 1940s gangster language, stuff like this is what concerns me when he's talking about his sadness. You know what I mean? Or
Oh,
this
like,
is what troubles me when he's
okay.
talking about having an operation. Like I tried to sit down once and write in that world.
Yeah.
Um, and it was really fun. It was really
Oh,
fun just to write in this sort of very rudimentary cop way. But the thing I loved about them, particularly it wasn't just, let me backtrack a little bit,
please
Jackie.
do.
All right, so David
I'm
Caruso
already
is
fascinated.
is
David
on the
Caruso.
first season. David Caruso, the red-haired man who went on to do one of the CSIs or Miami
Okay.
CSI or Miami, one of those
Some other
ones.
cop thing. Okay.
But he was extraordinary in this first season. He was just such a great character, and the way he was in the show. He had a big responsibility. The show got popular really fast. And so the word on the street, or what I heard, was he just couldn't handle, either he couldn't handle carrying the show, or maybe he
Okay.
did get, you know, he became, he didn't bring a sweater. Don't be a big shot, bring a sweater. And he couldn't handle the responsibility of carrying a show, or he thought he was better than the show and he wanted to pursue, which is like the big thing like Jerry Orbach says, never leave a hit show. He left a hit show, did
Oh,
nothing for years after. Um, so he was on the first year and a half. Then comes Jimmy Smits. I'm a huge Jimmy Smits fan.
right.
Super handsome, and they had a great um, love story between him and Kim Delaney, who came from All My Children. She was like one of the stars of All My Children. Just this really
Really?
pretty, yeah. And So they had this like the hot, sexy stuff. And that was the other thing about the show. It was breaking, it was groundbreaking in its sexual exploration of what you could do on TV at the time. So the first
Okay.
time Sipowitz shows his ass in the shower, that was like a big, well, big body part, but also big revelation or revelation in terms of what
Right,
people were
body
seeing.
parts. Right, right. So that was on network television. Was his the first butt that ever got shown?
Well, I'm trying to think because he becomes in a relationship with Sharon Lawrence. And initially, she was just supposed to be either in the one episode. And apparently, their chemistry was such that they kept her on for like 6 seasons. But I have to say, them two together, his inability to communicate anything and her open heartedness toward understanding his silence made their relationship work. And it's
That's
just,
crazy. That's what. So it
yeah.
was. So the NYPD Blue doesn't sound like it was about the cop stuff. It sounded like it was about the police officers.
No, I think that's the other thing that was groundbreaking. It was, well, I think probably Hill Street Blues did that as well, but this follows the life of the officers, but there's also three different, your A, B, and C story about a crime. There's usually the big crime that Sipowitz and Smits or Sipowitz and David Caruso took. I mean, Dennis Franz, sorry. And then there was a B story, which would be like Gordon Clapp's character and Nick Totoro. And then there might be a little C story. And then you'd have stories with the relationships of, because Sharon Lawrence played a DA. So she would have reasons to come in. So all of it was intertwined. But one of the cool things I liked about it was the characters were always trying to do the right thing for the people that they arrested. Like even if they arrested like just a
Kind of a
shit
dirtbag, or
bag,
yeah.
if they really believed him, like let's say he, I don't know, did a lot of bad things, but he didn't do this one murder or he didn't do this one rape or whatever. You know what I mean? They had this ability to know how to play the behavior of the characters and close their cases.
Well, that's interesting. I mean,
I think it
that
was, let me
feels
just
like.
finish this one thought. I
Go
think it was
ahead.
the first time I saw that concept of they wanted to do the death notification to the family. They wanted to be there so they could see the family members' reactions to see how they're handling the information. I think that was the first show I saw that idea on. Everybody does it now. Everybody talks about needing to be there for the notification, but and I could absolutely be wrong because I haven't seen every cop show, but
No, what it sounds like they were good cops, right? Like they
yes,
like
yes,
because okay, so that's an appeal to it where you're just like, well, this is a depiction of a hard job that can be done with integrity,
yes,
and you don't have to, just because this guy's a dirtbag and has done other crimes. If he did not do this crime, he cannot be tried for his
right,
previous crimes. This is just because he's a bad guy doesn't mean we should get him off the street,
right. But there's also times
because he
like,
didn't do that one. Yeah.
yeah, like if somebody does a crime and it was obviously either a crime of passion or it was just a huge mistake, uh, and they'll help the guy with their statement because they know they make the distinction between a good guy that made a mistake and a guy that's a fucking, life
Assassin.
life
Yeah.
criminal or a lifetime,
That's
um
interesting. And
so there was
so,
a lot of
yeah.
moments where they were very human and they treated the skells. I know a lot of cop language. They treated the skells. This
What's
is
a
not a
skell?
cold sore, by the way. Um, I don't have herpes, guys. I'm just saying it. I'm clearing it up. They were very humane, even though Sipowitz's character was pretty racist and did, probably was a Republican. And
What's a
Sipowitz,
skell? Let's back up to skell.
That's a
You said
criminal. Don't treat me like a skell. Don't fucking try to.
How are you spelling that word? What is that?
I think it's Skell.
Oh, I wonder what it's short for. I wonder the etymology of that. That'd be weird.
It wouldn't be skeleton.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
So, yeah, no, Sipowitz, very much a racist and a dirtbag in his own way.
But in his character arc, the reason he's racist, the character arc is he believes that his father got beat up by black people and they knocked out his eye. He's been carrying this for a long time. He comes to discover back full circle to a dream. Through a dream that it wasn't. That's not what happened. That his father wasn't a victim of a victimless crime. That his father was a participant in some way that wound up getting his eye knocked out. So he has a character arc in the middle of the series where he comes to terms with his racism.
Oh, that's kind of amazing.
Because Lieutenant Fancy is a black man, and they always, they're always bumping up against each other, but respecting each other, but trying to move around both persons' prejudices and stuff like that.
This is fascinating. First of all, his last name is Fancy?
What's Lieutenant Fancy.
Okay, what's that actor?
His name is, sweetie, what's Lieutenant Fancy's real name? Can't think of it. I got to look it up. Anyhow, he was a New York actor, and he was part of this 52nd Street Project, which was an organization that would take marginalized kids and teach them and put them in little plays. So they would have the actors. Pete's first wife, yeah, my husband was married before. I just found that out. And he's not a Navy SEAL. He wasn't a Navy SEAL.
You thought that Pete was a Navy SEAL? That you guys ever get a chance to meet Pete? You'll know. Okay. So
his name is James
McDaniel.
Yes, James McDaniel.
And he played a guy named Arthur Fancy. And he was he
was the sergeant. Or the captain.
The lieutenant. Okay, so he was
a lieutenant. Yes, he was a lieutenant.
You said Lieutenant Fancy, and so he's in charge of the squad. Essentially the squad. And so him and Sipowitz, Fancy and Sipowitz, butt heads. And was he from the beginning? Was he from?
He was there in the beginning. 1?
Okay.
He stayed till about season, I want to say 9 or 10.
Okay.
And then they brought in Isai Morales. And he stayed for a few years. He played the new lieutenant, Rodriguez, I'm assuming. I don't know what it was.
There's always the same. It's always the same. Yeah. What how many seasons was it?
12.
Okay. So Sipowitz, he comes in and he's McGruff the crime dog from the get-go. And but he's likable.
He's likable because because he does that thing where he's human with he knows how to do his job. He's the best cop in the squad, blah blah blah. Everybody wants to run their cases by him because he has that. But he's not stilted, but
he's got some real social problems.
Yeah, he's got some social problems, and it can get in the way. But he's very stand-up, like you said, around the job itself.
Okay.
There's other shit and he's a recovering out. In the first season, he has to get sober. So he struggles with that. And I think it might have been one of the first, not one of the first times, but too. I got sober in 89. This show's in 93. So it wasn't like every show had a sober person like it is now. Because every fucking show has a sober person, or a person who's sober and a person in Al-Anon, or a person or 2 or 3 people that are sober.
It tells you what's happening in Los Angeles. People are going to some
who's in the
12-step
writer's
programs,
room,
you guys.
Sometimes I had a friend, a really funny friend, Mick Betancourt. I think
I
he's
know
on
Mick Betancourt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's on Reacher now. But for years he worked on what I call the rape show, the SVU franchise.
A program that I loathe. I loathe that it exists. I
I know.
But
I
horrible.
used to say to him, what do you guys do in the writer's room? Are you just sitting around thinking about shit that can be done to women?
Right.
It was
right. And children.
I've seen episodes where they're like, every orifice was filled with semen. I'm like, honest to God, you're fucking talking about that in the writer's room? What is happening exactly? Well, how about a scene where they're coming at her so much that every orifice is filled with semen? Really? You don't. And then the other thing is you're going to watch that from 10 to 11 and then you're going to fucking bed. So all night long, where your dreams are supposed to be, where you're getting rid of the shit, and actually, if you go to bed with intention about how you want your day to be the next day, you'll wake up kind of refreshed with the intention of what you want your day to be.
Oh, well, see, now why didn't you tell me that with my nightmares and my crazy dreams? But I appreciate it. Okay, now I know.
Right. So if you go to bed and say, tomorrow's going to be a great day,
you got a better chance. You got a better chance at doing it. Yeah. As opposed to watching the news or SVU, it's going to be a grim night.
Right.
Yeah. You got to wind down, people.
But then when you think about it in the collective unconscious, when you think about, did it ever feel like there was a time when women were making progress and then all of a sudden violence towards women and, pushing back our rights, and like, this stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens because it's in the consciousness or the zeitgeist of the consciousness of the people.
Right. They're just like, well, they're making too much progress. They're doing this. So let's do TV shows where every orifice is filled with boy juice. And,
I should have said boy juice. It's been so long.
Pete,
but here's the thing.
Listen to her.
Some people will say, and the star of the show also says, and I give her credit for this, that the show has helped a lot of women stay safer because of things that they talk about, and
SVU,
the shame around people that have been assaulted. So there's something to be said about it in that way. But for me, I feel like any show you watch, for the most part, any real crime show you watch, all the violence is 85% against women.
Yes.
It's always against women.
Was that true in NYPD Blue as well?
They definitely had their share of things. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not every case.
I think it's the go-to. It's the go-to.
I'd rather see a woman.
What's she gonna say, Rangers?
I'd rather just have a random woman shot and they're going after that woman than somebody that was assaulted and tortured and shot. Like,
right. The details.
Right.
The details are graphic and unnecessary. Yes.
Yes. And so when you have a perpetrator, I actually wrote this thing because I heard it on SVU once, where the star of the show, Olivia, the character, looks at the camera and says, "My Vic is my perp," meaning that her victim now is perpetrating.
Has turned around, and sort of like that. What was that Dirty Harry movie where the woman was killing rapists?
Oh,
remember that Dirty Harry movie where she was shooting guys in the penis?
I don't. Which one was that? I do love vengeance, though. I'm such a justice. I'm such a fucking justice. I need to see justice at the end. It must be a weird.
I don't want any part of an anti-hero unless the anti-hero has grown in some other way. And then I also don't want some sort of Lady or the Tiger ending where you're like, well, we don't know what happened. You're like, guess what? I'm living my life like that. I would like my fiction to tell me what happened.
Yes. Tell me what happened.
And
oh my God.
And make it good news. How about that?
How about these? Yes, good news. Absolutely. But one of the things Pete and I sometimes will watch one of those, 6-part docuseries about a crime, and it hasn't been solved.
Boo.
And we're still looking for the block. I'm like, don't you fucking put on a 6-part docuseries about a crime that's not solved. Who do you think you are?
Right. What are you doing? I have
what
to go to bed.
That it's not solved. And you're doing a fucking story about
it? Guess what? It's not ready. It's not ready to be television. How about that? Write the fictional novel that then we find out. I think about
your show's not ready, guys.
It's not ready to be a show yet. And so hilarious. It sounds like NYPD Blue had mostly male characters and the women were just love interests.
No, that's not true at all.
The
women had great storylines. In fact, I was thinking about the storylines recently because, I don't know personally. This is why I want to do my NYPD Blue podcast, because I really want to interview a lot of the actors and talk about story ideas. And I don't know how I would get that started. And I don't even know who would be able to.
You would download Riverside.
First, I have to download Chrome.
1. You might have to get Chrome, and you might have to get a regular mic and a regular headset.
What's the matter?
I actually have 84. Extra.
Oh,
Christ. My apologies, Patrick.
No. One thing I cannot. I don't want to say stomach, but I can't. I don't know what the word is. I can't buy a false drama point that's there because it has to move the story along.
Oh, that bugs you?
I won't stand for that. No, I will not stand for it. It's false and it's wedged in and it's ham-fisted because somehow the story has to get moved along. But how would they know that? Why would that person be telling that person? Like a great example is, here's a great example. So Kim Delaney's going to leave the show after Jimmy Smits dies. And there's a new detective on the squad named Connie. I can't remember her real name. She's a great actress. This blonde girl. Shit, I used to know her name sometimes. Charlotte something. She came on as a guest star in like season, I don't know, let's say season.
Charlotte Ross.
Yes.
Connie McDowell.
Yes. So, and she winds up becoming Sipowitz's love interest because Sipowitz's wife dies. And anyhow, there's a scene where she's brand new to the squad and Diane's going to leave the show because her husband passed away and love of her life and she can't work anymore. And she's been trying to stay, but it's just not working out. So there's a scene in the coffee room where Charlotte Ross, Diane's trying to figure out, well, when would be a good time to take a leave? I really would like to go. I'm not, feeling it. I'd like to take. And Charlotte Ross says, you can go right now. Because when my dad died, I did this thing that allowed me to go right now. So tomorrow you could go into the captain's office and say, I'm going to go now. And I'm like, come on. Really? You're just going to go right now because somebody in the office called someone and said, what if I wanted to leave real fast?
Oh, so you think that scene was contrived?
Yes.
Yes. Though people do, of course, have some sort of you're just like, I'm done. No, but 2 weeks notice. I'm leaving.
But the thing is, it wasn't that she was going to leave the job. And she had already stayed on for like 3 more seasons with another guy that had taken the place of the cop that got killed. So
you are correct then. This is complete BS. Yeah,
right.
That's nonsense. Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't like the husband just died and now she wants to leave. It's like 3 years later, she wants to leave. Anyhow.
Yeah, you are correct. That is insane.
But the reason I bring up the idea of false notions, or like, there's always a big buy in any particular story at some point, but it has to feel like an authentic buy. Otherwise, you're not going to go the distance. And so one thing I surmised is that, Dennis Franz was winning all the Emmys and Jimmy Smits wasn't winning any Emmys. I think he won a Golden Globe and he may have won an Emmy, but every time those two were up for Best Actor, Dennis Franz always won. So in season 4, the end of season 4, I think they want to give Jimmy Smits a big storyline to maybe give him something that would have been Emmy worthy, because mostly, I mean, he's excellent. He's excellent in the show, but there's a lot of him and Diane together. And Jimmy Smits has his character so much more flawed that particular character will always get more attention, from.
Wait, Dennis Franz's character is more flawed?
Sipowitz is so flawed.
So Jimmy Smits's character was pretty smooth or together?
Yes, he was smooth, but he's handsome, and he's an excellent actor. But he doesn't get the storylines that
just a normal looking dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the season 4, I think they were trying to write him a storyline that could have pushed him over the edge of something. But it happened so fast and so furious that it felt to me like they did that for a specific purpose, to give him a storyline something that he could really sink his teeth into besides case by case. You know what I mean? Anyhow.
What was it? What was his storyline? That was
his
supposed
storyline
to
was there's
world.
This guy named DeSalvo. Now, is it DeSalvo? A guy he grows up with is a real bad guy. And he sees him in a restaurant and basically reintroduces himself. And Jimmy Smits doesn't want anything to do with him. But then the brass wants Jimmy Smits to go along with him to see if they can get something on him. Except the brass, the FBI, but the FBI doesn't want to tell the chief of D's, so that now Jimmy Smits is between a rock and a hard place. FBI doesn't want to tell the chief of D's because they think they have a mole in the chief of D's office.
Is the chief of D's detectives?
You wanted me to be dorky.
Right, it's got the logo. She's got the lingo. She got the logo. She got the lingo down, you guys.
So at any rate, it just felt like it didn't quite have it, even though.
Okay. Right, because now it's about him and his friend.
But this
not
is me.
A friend.
This is all speculation for me. That's why I got to do the podcast, so I can find out what was the storyline about. And I also heard the reason why Smits left the show was because Milch, a very talented man, gambling addict, possibly an alcoholic, would be changing pages, laying on the floor under the desk while they're shooting and handing Jimmy Smits pages to say.
Oh, wow. So he didn't really get a chance. I mean, real actors love to find and memorize. I, as an actress, like to be handed, and then we do it line by line. Let's just shoot it line by line so I don't have to memorize anything.
I pretend you're doing it. Say you got 4 lines. Go ahead. And action.
I did have 4 lines the other day. And he told me that he would shoot me here, that a torso, that he was like, then you could just do each line. And I was just a talking head it's a game. Andy's the Hero Instant. We shot the other day he called it a prototype. I call it a pilot of what it would be like to watch people play the Hero Instant. And I played essentially the host. And so I said, welcome to season 0 of the Hero Instant. My name is
Cut.
Jackie Kashian.
Oh,
yes.
Let's do it again. Action.
My name is Jackie Kashian, and welcome to season 0 of the Hero Instant, a tabletop superhero game.
Cut. All right, what's your second line? You ready?
The hero
Action.
The Hero Instant will follow this team of teen heroes as we play a nope. Yeah, see, I don't know the lines.
Pretty good though.
Great.
A team of teen heroes is really hard to say.
Right, and it was better written and all of that. And Carmen Morales stood next to me and held the script up next to the camera so that I didn't have to memorize Jack. It was pretty great. I've been on a couple of different programs, and memorization is not hard for me. All it is I have to care. And so Jimmy Smits clearly cared, and he was annoyed that the Milch guy kept handing him new lines in the middle of the scene.
Did you ever hear that Orson Welles audio of him doing the voiceover?
No.
Crumb crisp coating. And he keeps being given directions by these ad people that are on the other side. And he's like, crumb crisp coating. That's a tough one. Lose crisp or lose whatever the line was. And at one point, I forget the thing. Pete knows the whole thing, but he says something like, if anybody can say this line, I'll go down on you. You have got to find it. The Orson Welles.
Orson Welles commercial.
June Peas. J-U, early June Peas, I think it is, for I don't know who, like Jolly Green Giant or something.
Okay. So what's your favorite, let's get back to NYPD Blue. And so you have favorite seasons. Do you have a favorite season? Or is it just a favorite arc? Yeah.
I have arcs I like. I have combinations of things I like. Like, for example, when what's his name came on? The kid from Silver Spoons.
Oh, right.
What's his name? Ricky Schroeder.
Yeah.
I know Ricky Schroeder's a weirdo, but he's a really good actor. And he came on the show, but I don't know if he was unhappy. I don't know what his issue was, but they did not figure out a character for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they didn't. They tried a couple different things. Like he was fucked up because he had to raise his little sisters. He was from Norway. He was compulsive about putting paper clips in his thing.
Yeah, like he might not be weird. He might just have been drawn that way, like Jessica Rabbit.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like him and Sipowitz could have had a really good thing because he reminded Sipowitz of his son that had died, and and he was a good cop. He understood it. He was a cop the way that Sipowitz and Jimmy Smits were cops. His flaws were not consistent and not believable enough to track his storylines. You know what I mean? They couldn't figure it out with him. So,
but you liked the arc anyway, or?
I didn't like his arc, but I liked him as an actor, and I liked him as the guy that knew how to do his job. And I was disappointed that they couldn't figure that out. But again, it may have been him not wanting, because a lot of, contrary to popular belief, all actors don't want to work constantly. Like, we know people that are like, oh, if only I could I'm just trying to get this thing. There's other people that wind up acting and it's not that important to them.
I have a friend of mine who accidentally has fallen into a recurring role on Days of Our Lives. And she is psyched because she is my age, maybe a little older. And she just got a bit part where she played sort of a spooky secretary of one of the bad guys on Days of Our Lives. So every time, she showed up like behind a bookcase or through the floor. And she'd be like, I have the accounts you need. And she is having the time of her life. And the audience loved, she was just supposed to be the one time. And now she's recurring, but she's like, it's kind of great. Because it's not every day. It's not even every week. But it is super fun. And she gets to act.
Well, there's also that, oh, sorry. I was just going to say there's also that type of person, like the rich kid that becomes an actor. But they like to do other things like race cars so they don't want to act all the time.
Right. I need to go to Monte Carlo because there's a new restaurant.
Exactly.
You're like, wow, if you could stop talking out loud, that'd be great. Again, inside your head voice there, Richie Rich. Please do not fly to the new restaurant in France. And when I bought a pair of shorts and didn't look at the price tag, I know that I'm wealthy. So
anything you can get at Big Five without looking at the price tag, you're flying high, lady.
That's a sports that's new sneaker land. So they might be $150 sneakers. Talk to me about the end. How did it end? Did they have like one of those great endings?
No. So what happened?
Like last episode? Yeah.
What happens ultimately, if you follow Dennis Franz's arc, is that he grows up emotionally. He becomes a better man. He becomes a family man, and he ultimately becomes the lieutenant captain of the squad. And that's the last episode where everybody's coming in and saying, good night, boss. And in the episode itself,
I got chills.
I just did too. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
In the episode itself, there's a case that the higher ups want to keep a lid on. So they're basically blaming the murder on somebody who has diplomatic immunity so that he's not going to get punished, even though Sipowitz knows it's not this guy. And he keeps pushing it until ultimately the chief of D's, who gave Sipowitz the job, basically says, this is how it's going. Don't fucking push me, blah, blah, blah. And so Sipowitz has his first experience with what this job is going to be like. He's going to have to deal with the politics of the job and be a boss to his squad. And that's how the show ends. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool. And yet horrifying because he folds.
Well, no, he doesn't fold. He just, if you're a grown-up in a grown-up job, there's things, because he's not just a detective anymore, and he can't just wear the white hat constantly. He had to
compromise.
He had to compromise because
he compromised against justice, though.
No, well, it depends, possibly. But here's the thing leading up to that. He has 2 scenes with Jimmy Smits where he's a ghost in the room where they do all the stuff that's not in the actual squad room. It's a unisex bathroom of all things.
If you could stop talking for a second so I can say, is it Jimmy Smits's ghost? What happened?
Well, after Jimmy Smits died, he's not on the show.
Jimmy Smits dies?
Yes, that's why Ricky Schroeder came in. And then Ricky Schroeder
Spoiler
dies.
Alert.
And then they bring in, what's his name? From Saved by the Bell.
They are finding some good-looking kids from sitcoms to make into gritty cops.
You're absolutely right. How did it get to be those 2?
Wow. So wait a minute.
2 episodes, Jimmy Smits shows up to basically tell Sipowitz that now he has to be a teacher. Now he has to be a leader.
Okay.
Because Sipowitz doesn't know what to do now. Now that he's
now that he's Captain Compromise, he's got to figure out.
Don't call him that. You have to play ball for the highest good. He's going to keep this job. He's going to, he's going to
get to do other good things.
New young cops how to be good cops, and once in a while he's going to have to eat shit.
All right. So, do we ever find out who actually did murder the person?
Oh, we know who murdered the person.
And it wasn't the diplomatic immunity guy?
No, it was a super rich dude.
Oh, okay.
The super rich dude gets off because they have a way to blame this other guy who has immunity. So nothing will happen to him. And the rich guy gets off because let's face it, rich people have a different experience in the justice system than blue collar people or poor people.
Right. And that's what it was. And that was what the sort of the message of the show was. So
they did not like rich people.
Right.
In the show.
But we see sort of the reality of the justice system. Are there other scenes where we see sort of that kind of reality, but done well, done on the side of like getting the bad guy? Like, what are your?
Oh, they got the bad guy constantly.
Even they constantly.
I mean, most of the time, even with rich people, like there was a woman that wanted to look into getting her housekeeper arrested or sent back because she's insisting that her housekeeper stole a really fancy necklace.
Right.
Well, it turns out that the housekeeper, the rich lady, kept her jewelry in like fake soup cans. And somebody came because they wanted to, have soup cans donated for a church. And this girl sent it with the guy. And so now the lady's trying to get the other woman, either deported or arrested.
Arrested for thievery. Yep.
So Diane Russell, who's also very like Smits and Sipowitz and how she does her job. You know what I mean? She's great at her job. She's for the people. She's very humanitarian. She realizes that this girl just made a mistake. And she says to the rich lady, if I can get you back the necklace, will you put this thing to bed? And she does all that. And the lady doesn't acquiesce. She still wants to, she's doubling down.
Yeah.
And Diane Russell says to her, if I find out that anything happened to this girl and anything else, I'm going to be on you so fast, blah, blah, blah. And the woman says, well, now I know what you think about me. And Diane Russell says, oh, really? What gave it away? Like they fucking hated those people.
Right. So was it often funny? Like, did it do any sort of like, I know that there was drama and that there was seriousness, but was it also?
No, there was some
sometimes
comedy,
it was,
but it wasn't like we're going to need a bigger boat. It wasn't that kind. It was.
But I'll tell you, we're going to need a bigger boat was written. It made sense in that scene.
Yes,
it was just sarcasm. It wasn't. Hey, let's try to make this jokey. Did you ever read?
It wasn't like we'll be back or I'm back. It wasn't like that.
Right. It wasn't hokey. Did you ever read the Thursday Murder Club?
No, my friend told me how much he loved those books. And then apparently they did the show on Netflix and it's ridiculous. Like
it's the worst.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I haven't been this mad since Jar Jar Binks. It is
my friend was furious. I should put you two together. Furious.
Oh my God, you should put us together because it was they got four of the greatest actors to play these parts, and I was so excited. And then they got the director from the first Harry Potter movie, Chris Columbus, and so it has a Harry Potter vibe to it. So gross. Ding 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 ding. Like even the music is the same. They make this old people home a castle with a shit ton of stairs.
Stop it.
Can I tell Cindy Caponera? Who's putting 80-year-old people in a castle with stairs? Nobody. They have an archery class that happens on a balcony that overlooks a driveway. Nobody's hitting you're shooting people. You're out of your mind.
That's why I never watched Gracie and Frankie, because I was always afraid someone was going to fall. Like, I can't watch all these people walking around. Someone's going to fall. And my friend said to me, they tape it. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Someone's still going to fall.
Can I tell you two things? First of all, Andy's mama, Chris Foley, who it's been a year since she passed. So sad. And, but she watched Frankie and Grace, or Grace and Frankie, or whatever it's called, 3 times stem to stern. First episode, last episode, in the 2.5 years she lived with us. And it was her go-to. And she loved it. She's a gay lady, and she loved Lily Tomlin. And, and then, there was something else I was going to say.
Back to Thursday Murder Club. You said no one's going to walk those stairs. No one's going to shoot that target. And
the real problem with that program was that the murderer, they changed it. They literally vilified the best character in the following 4 books. And you're like, if I had a pillow and you were on a bed, I would smother you.
I'm smothering the Thursday Murder Club show.
I'm smothering Steven Spielberg and telling him that there's no reason for him to take Richard Osman's super sweet here. So what the point of this?
Was he the producer?
He's no, Richard Spielberg was. Richard Osman wrote it. And Richard Osman is a stand-up comic. And a British stand-up comic. And also talking head and game show host. But here's the scoop. The first book is so funny. And it's not comedy funny. It's not stand-up funny. It is character-driven. The characters are just funny people who occasionally say very, very funny things. Because people are hilarious. And so and each chapter, by the way, of the Thursday Murder Club, and I would recommend everyone read this book because the chapters are 2 to 4 pages.
Ooh.
So you can read it right before bed and then fall asleep. And by the way, happily fall asleep because the bad guys get it in the end. And that's what we want.
The bad guys got to get it.
They got to get it.
They got to get it.
Yeah. There's no reason for them not to get it. So,
yes,
NYPD
dear.
Blue, we're at an hour, just so you know.
Okay.
If you want to tell me something about the NYPD Blue that you feel like has not been told at this time of why you love it, why should people watch it? Just because, and how, hundreds of episodes? 200 episodes?
7 million episodes, 12 seasons,
right?
Figure 22 a year.
Yeah.
A lot.
That's a lot.
One thing I was going to say, this actor died very young, but he was in an episode called A Box of Wendy. He was a guy that killed his sister because she was going to get all the mother's money.
Okay.
He was so good and so weird. And, sometimes when I'm watching stuff like that, I'm always like, oh my God, it must have been so fun shooting that scene.
Right.
Or like, what were those guys doing there? Or sometimes like if I hear a joke on a show that's crazy funny, I'm like, what happened in the writer's room when somebody pitched that joke? Because that fucking joke is like, so how
Gold.
did that,
Yeah. So the casting of that one, A Box of Wendy?
And he died really young. And he was such a good little guest star.
Oh.
And those are the kind of things. And of course, it's New York. So it's all kinds of New York theater people that have had long theater, careers. Like
sort of like British television. Because if you shoot something in New York, you have access to like an entirely different group of actors.
Well, did you ever see The Good Wife? The Good Wife. The Good Wife had so many Tony-winning actors on that show.
Oh, yeah?
Musical actors. It was unbelievable. You're like, oh my God. Wasn't she the star of, the girl, Renee?
Did she play Peter Pan? What just happened?
Renee Goldsberry was on it for years from Hamilton.
Okay.
And the guy that, his name is Michael something, the guy that won a Tony for Assassins, and Audra McDonald was in it. And, so many New York theater actors.
Right. It's such a gift when you get to shoot in a town like that and use all the local actors.
Yes.
That is neat. Cindy Caponera, thank you so much for doing the Dork Forest and wandering around NYPD Blue. And now I want to watch A Box of Wendy. So
it's good.
Thank you.
You'll like it.
Rangers, you know the rules out there. Take care of each other.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?